Hey everyone, welcome to the Coach's Corner. What we have for you today is a team dynamic warm-up. As always, it's so important to warm up, but I get a lot of questions from coaches. Hey, how should we warm up? What should we do? Now, there's no super secret on what to do exactly, but here are some pointers and here are some types of exercises that you can do with your team. First and foremost, always get their blood flowing. So maybe have them do a light jog, or depending on the sport, maybe it's basketball, let them warm up, shoot some shots. If it's baseball, they can always do some nice, easy tossing, playing around a little bit, but always have them warm up. So you could always start with a jog, so pick a spot, whether it's a light pole or a corner, or jog around the court. Just a nice, easy jog to get the blood flowing. Once you get that going, you want to get them into groups or one big group. If it's basketball, football, whatever, line them up on the sideline. Baseball, line them up on the foul line, okay? Then what you're going to do is instruct them on these exercises. They don't need to do them all the way down. Typically about 15 to 20 yards is ideal. So, for example, if this is baseball, let's line them up on the foul line, okay? Tell them they're going to perform their exercise halfway between second base, or you can get a cone, set a cone there. Or I prefer to have a coach halfway so they know to go to that coach and then jog the rest of the way. So they're going to perform their exercise halfway and then jog the rest of the way. So the first thing we have for the dynamic warm-up is a skip. So any type of skipping. Skipping is so important for many different reasons. That's something we can talk about later. But always start with a skip. My favorite is an A skip. So we're going to do an A skip down halfway. With the A skip, you're going to drive that knee up, point that toe up. So arm coach, toe go. You're going to drive that knee up, point that toe up. When they get halfway, then they jog. Now, if the coach is busy and you can't instruct it and the players do know the warm up, it's okay to have a leader step up and take them through it. Okay, once you do those A skips all the way down, we're going to not all the way down, halfway, we're going to superset that with a knee hug. So grab the leg, pull the knee up to the chest as high as you can. You're going to take a couple steps between each. So you're going to grab that knee, pull it up, take a couple steps, switch. Now make sure it's a couple steps. So watch the athletes. If they're only getting like 1 or 2 stretches in each, then they're not doing it right. Make sure they get, I like to say about 4 to 6 each. Okay. After the knee hugs, they jog back. Then the second thing that we have are butt kicks. So we're going to do butt kicks down. Make sure with the butt kicks that their heels are hitting their butt, and tell them to get as many touches as you can. Hit that heel to your butt as many times as you can. Then on the way back, what we have is a quad pull and reach. This one is really important. It's important to stretch our quads and our hip flexors a lot, and kids like to do this wrong, or they just be silly and they're falling all over the place. So make sure as a coach you tell them to stay balanced and take your time. So you're going to grab that foot, stand on the opposite leg, bend your hip a little bit. You're going to reach, pull that knee back. You're going to take a couple steps, switch, take your time. Okay, do that all the way back. Then the third superset, what we have is a leg kick. You're going to do leg kicks. Point that toe, kick up, take a couple steps, and switch. On the way back, we have scoops. Scoops, we're going to put our heel down, toe up. Make sure that leg stays straight. We're going to scoop forward, take a couple steps, and switch. Then the next one, we have a forward hurdle stretch. This is good for the hips. Thinking about sports, we always use our hips with everything we do. So at TAP, we like to really make sure we're hitting that hip mobility. So you pretend that tell your athletes to pretend that they're going up and over a hurdle. Keep those hips square. We're going to swing that leg out, go up, over, take a couple steps, and switch. Now on the way back, it's a little different. We're going to have a back pedal into a right turn. And this can be a jog, or if you want to really get them going, you can tell them to sprint after they do that turn. So what it looks like is you tell them to go, they're going to back pedal. If I were you as a coach, I would cue them on 2 goes, meaning tell them to go, they're going to back pedal. Then on the second go, they turn to the right and run. So if you're a coach, you say go, back pedal, go, we turn to the right and run. So 2 goes. Go, they back pedal, second go, they turn to the right and run. Then the next one, we're doing the opposite motion with the hurdle stretch. You're going to have them take their knee up and then go out, up, and backwards like they're going over a hurdle. They're going to take a couple steps and switch. Then on the way back, they're going to do the back pedal again, but open to the left. So go, open to the left. After that, what we're going to do now is an Atlas reach. I really like the Atlas lunge, but we add a reach to it to really get that arm stretch. So they're going to lunge forward. Whatever leg is forward, they're going to rotate to that side. So they're going to lunge, push the hips forward. They're going to reach as high as they can. Just tell them to reach to this guy, and then rotate to that side. Take a couple steps, lunge, reach as high as they can, and then rotate to that side. After the Atlas lunge, they have side steps with arm swings. Typically, I only do this one with throwers or swingers, so like volleyball and basketball or baseball players, softball. This is really good to do. So it's a nice, easy side shuffle. You're just going to side shuffle, but we're going to swing the arms at the same time. On this one, you can do it down and back, or you can just do it all the way down and have them switch halfway. So you can cue them, hey, switch or go. So it can look like this. You can side shuffle, go, they just turn and go to the other side. That way they're just shuffling each side, nothing too crazy. Then after that we have side strides. Side strides are one of my favorite, so make sure they're really doing this one correctly. Side stride, you're just going to stride out to the side, keep that inside leg straight, sit back on that hip. You're going to go to the opposite side, turn, and switch. So I'll give you kind of a real life movement on this. So we're going to side stride. Notice I'm not going super fast. I'm taking my time, making sure I feel that stretch. After the side stride, you have RDL reach. RDL stands for Romanian deadlift. So you're going to plant your foot, and you're just going to reach down to the ground, get this leg up. Make sure your athletes aren't falling forward on their face. That's not the point of this. We want to feel it on the backside, so they need to make sure they're bending their leg a little bit, and tell them to sit back on their heel. So they're going to sit back on the heel, let their back relax. They're going to reach down, touch. Now, if it's easy, they can swing that leg up. So I can come here, swing that leg up, touch. You're going to take a couple steps and alternate. After that, the next few things we have, I like to do them down and back. This really gets you, gets the athletes engaged, it gets their blood flowing, it gets you ready to go right into practice. So the next one we have is your basic karaoke. Now, with the karaoke, we want to make sure we drive that leg across. So when they do their karaoke, you swing that leg across. They can go all the way down and back, or you can have them go down, take a break, and then come back. After that, you have a side step to sprint. This one's more for your baseball, softball athletes. So what that is basically like they're leading off, but I want them to stay low on the side steps because it's more of an exercise. So for example, if I'm going to sprint this way to my left, I'm going to stay low. You're going to tell them to go 4 to 6 steps. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then take off into a sprint. Make sure they stay down the entire time. Do that down and back. Then my last one, my favorite one I do with all sports teams. I don't care what sport you play. I think it's very beneficial because, again, we use our hips and we're constantly rotating at the trunk all the time. This is called a hip twist. This is also fun for the coaches. This is all on the coach, or you can have a leader step up and have a leader do it. But what the coach is going to do, you're going to tell them to chop their feet. Once they chop their feet, you're going to give them 4 hits. So you're going to shout out, hit. When you say hit, twist their hips to the right. So chop your feet. When you say hit, twist hips to the right, but your shoulders stay square. So chop, hit, and then you go back to neutral. Okay. On the second hit, you go to the left side. So we're going to alternate. So on the second hit, the left side, shoulders stay square. Okay. You can add something to this. You can have them sprint all the way down after, or jog all the way down, but do it down and back. For my basketball teams that I personally coach, what I like to do is have them hip twist and then jog to the end, and then at the very end, they close out hand high. Okay. Another thing you can do is have them shout ball. It's kind of fun. It gets them on the same page. It gets the energy going. So you can tell them twist their hips and tell them, when you twist your hips, I want you to yell ball. So it could be like this: chop, hit, ball, ball. Just to kind of get the energy going. So let me show you 4 hits into a jog. So chop your feet, hit, 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 into a jog. And that's your dynamic warm-up.